going to be reviewing the W-controlled vowels. We're going to just review the W ones. So we've learned that AW says ah, as in saw. WA says wa, as in wash. WAR says war, as in war. And WOR says were, as in world or word. Okay, so feel free to look at that chat. I'm going to say one of those combinations, but I'm not going to tell you what it says. I'd like for you to just answer that on your own, wherever you are. Okay, so what does WA say? Feel free to look. How about WAR? WOR? Now, close your eyes and try to do it again, so no looking. What does WA say? WAR? WOR? Good. So let's share my screen and let's get practicing this. So we're going to be practicing all three of those this time as a combination, just to remind our memory that we know this stuff, which you just did because you just did it with your eyes closed. So let's start annotating. This A is going to say ah because the next two letters are consonants. Here is our WOR that says what? Were. Y at the end of a longer word usually says E. So our sounds are p, ah, p. W, th, E. Papworthy. Papworthy. Now, if you'll notice, when I was looking at this, I put a little box here like this. That is to train my subconscious and my conscious mind to recognize this as a unit. WOR must be a recognizable unit so that you don't pronounce this O without knowing that that W is controlling its sound. You have to know that WOR is a thing that says a thing. Okay, but then when we go to pronounce the sounds, there are two sounds in this unit. There's the W and the so they get 2 dots. All right, your word. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Okay, so this I is going to say I because the next 2 letters are consonants, the tap 2 rule. Here's that WOR that I'm learning, I'm teaching my brain to recognize, and it says were. Y at the end of a longer word usually says E. So we have it, w, th, E. Writworthy, writworthy, writworthy. I have a feeling you did good on that. Let's try number 2. So what's this O going to say? It looks like it's going to say ah because of the tap 2 rule, 2 consonants after it. And here is a W control vowel, WAR. You might have thought it was just a WA that says wa, but we're learning that you have to watch for that R because it will change the sound once again. WAR says war. So our sounds are b, ol, ah, t, w, o, m. I'm giving this 3 different sounds because this A is saying O. It's making a sound. This A is making a sound. Up here, this O didn't say anything, so it didn't get a dot. I only heard the W and the R. Watch. Were. There was no O sound. I mean, it technically could sound like an ER or an IR, but on those, you don't even hear the E or the I. You just hear the R because R can be it can act as a vowel. I just love that fact. I feel smart when I say it. Go ahead and say that to all your friends. R and L can act as a vowel, and if they want me to prove it, I will. So this A is getting its own dot because it has a sound, unlike this O didn't have a sound. So we have bull, blah, blot, blotw, blotwo, blotwar, blotworm, blotworm. Why does the TH here sound like a Z? Right here on worthy. Well, it sounds like a vibrating. So TH has two different sounds. It has a voiced and a voiceless sound. The voiceless sound is no vocal cords being used. Your tongue is going between your teeth and you're blowing air, as in think, thought. Especially when it's at the end, bath, with. But sometimes it can make its vibrating sound. So those vocal cords are being used and the tongue still goes between your teeth and your blow, but you do that with your activating your vocal cords. So it's and it kind of tickles your tongue. And that can often happen if there's a vibrating sound on either side of it. But that rule is so inconsistent that I don't really teach it very often. But I do want you to know that that TH does have two different sounds. That's what's happening in that word worthy. All right, where were we? We were on number 2 for you. So go ahead and try your number 2 over here on your own. Is the R only acting like a vowel because it's almost controlling the vowel? It's like a slide or a glide. It's there to slide or glide the vowel sound. Yeah, that's why they call it like a liquid consonant, because it's acting as the vowel sound in that syllable, but it's usually sliding or gliding the vowel sound in that syllable. It's a little technical, but I love your question. Okay, so in 2 we have k, ol, t, w, o, p. Kol, kla, clut, clutw, clutwo, clutwar, clutwarp, clutwarp. Now, out of these first 2, would you please put how many you got out of 2 on your own without me in the Q&A? Good. Okay. Guys are doing great. Let's keep going then. All right, so number 3, we have, I feel like you don't even need me right now. Try it on your own. I think from what I saw in the Q&A, you guys are doing fantastic. So I want you to try this one on your own without me. You've got it. You know what WOR says. Just same with this one up here. Go for it. Rowan, we're going to count your 1.5 as 2. We're going to count that as 2. All right, so this A is going to say ah. We have a 3-letter consonant blend here at the beginning. When that happens, you have to make sure that none of those sounds disappears. We have to grab each one, but that's why we pencil read. Here we have a WOR that says were. You don't even hear the O. It's just the W and the R. So we have stir, all 3 of those consonants. Stra, stran, strand, strandw, Strandwhir. Strandwhirl. Strandworld. Strandworld. I have a feeling you're going to do this one pretty quickly. Go for it. You can already tell it's a compound word. Compound words are a little easier to read. But don't let any R's, L's, or N's sneak in, because they might want to, or they don't belong. So this I will say it because of the tap 2 rule. This WOR says were. Don't even hear the O. So we have sp, it, w, d, spit world. Spit world. Glad I don't live in a spit world, if that were a thing. All right, so number 4. So here I have that WA. Do you remember what WA says? Think of wallet, wash, wasp. So this A is going to sound like a short O. Even though the tap 2 rule might make you think that it can't say a short O, it can, because W and R, they are the trump card. They make everything else not as important as what it wants that vowel to pronounce. So if there's a W or an R controlling the vowel sound, that's the winner. And all the other rules are less, they're inferior to the W and the R controlled vowel sounds, because you know vowels can make lots of different sounds. So when you see an R or an L or a W controlling one of those vowel sounds, that's the winner sound. And then I is going to say I right here because of the tap 2 rule, those 2 consonants. So we have w, ah, p, I, sh, wapish, wapish. So knowing that, what would yours say? Yep, so this A says ah, right? WA says wa, water, wallet, wash. I says A when there are 2 consonants after it. So we have w, ah, itch, wamich, wamich, wamich. Go ahead and let me know. How did you do on 3 and 4? How did you do on 3 and 4? I am dying to know. How did you do on 3 and 4? Nice. Yay. And this lesson, you know what? This lesson and the next one, they're probably going to be the hardest lessons that you'll have all year. Because, I mean, think about what you're doing right now. WA says wa for no reason. Unless you put an R after it, then that A changes to a long O sound and it says war. But if you want war, you can't spell it W-O-R because that O sounds like an E and says were. This is not easy stuff. And you guys are getting it. You guys are getting it. I mean, of course you are. You're smart. You just needed to be taught the why or how all this stuff works and you'll get it, right? And if not, that's because it's hard. It's the material and not you, all right? It is not your ability to grasp it. It is the material itself that's difficult. All right, let's look at these extra practice. Which ones would you like me to do with you before I send you off on your own? I'm definitely getting it this time around. Oh, good. So that was said by somebody who has been in for over a year, over maybe even 2. But he says I'm definitely getting it this time around. So if this is just your first exposure, stay in for at least a year because it gets so much easier the second time. All right, so lots of requests here. Let's start with the first one in, which is number 10. So go ahead and try number 10 on your own. No hints from me. Well, maybe a little. And then I'll come back after you and read it with you. Some of you may be wondering if this A is going to say ah or If you were here in A month, you know that A can make the schwa sound in this instance. I love that you know that. Let's make it say ah in this word. Even though would be technically correct, let's make it say ah in this word. All right. So we have w, a, m, b, I, s, t, a, m, p, wa, wam, wamb, wambe, wambis, wambist, wambista, wambistam, wambistamp, wambistamp. How did you do on wambistamp? Yes, yay, you got it, or A almost. Somebody's saying here, I was reading the definition to a word and I read it pretty fast, faster than I have in the past. So I think these classes are really helping. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That made my day to hear you say that. Thank you for taking the time to write that. Okay, several almosts on that one. Let's try another one. Number 2 was the next request. So let's try number 2, everybody. W-O-R says were. So W-O-R says were. Here this I is going to say I because of the 2 consonants that are after it. So we have w, sh, ist. Worshist. Worshist. Not an easy word to pronounce because of the SH and the S so close together. Worshist. Would you let me know how you did on that one? Y, yes, or A almost? Worshist. Okay, good. All right, I think we have time for one more here. Somebody wanted number 6 was next. No, 8. It was 8. So go ahead and try number 8. I have a feeling you're getting it. I have a feeling you're getting it. Yeah, so it's actually a compound word, right? You can divide it between the 2 words. If you see 2 words, you can just split them. So we have ig, rig, and worm. Rigworm sounds like a nightmare that I'm about to have. Rigworm. Not to be confused with ringworm. That N would make the G have a, what's that word? Glottal sound. This N is going to change the sound of the G. That would be ring. This is no N in there, so it's just rig. Rigworm. Yeah, that sounds like a frightening word. Well, my friends, congratulations on learning W control vowels because that's a doozy. We're still going to do a little bit more practice next time. We're also going to bring in the R control vowels. Those are slightly easier because they say words, they say what you have grown up thinking that they say. AR says R, OR says OR, ER, IR, and UR all say But we're going to throw all of those in next time. Practice W again so you'll really, really get it. So don't miss Wednesday if you can. And then I'll see you then. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.